Have you seen that replay, buddy?
All right, man, I'm done talking to you.
You can't be done talking to me. You're right here facing me.
I back. Trust me, I back.
Dana! 60 G's, baby! But I'm not impressed by your performance.
It's normal. Come on, guys. It's normal.
You'll do nothing. You'll do nothing.
I'm the man of the hour, Joe. Too sweet to be sour. What you see is what you get, and what you don't is better yet. I'm the women's pick. I'm the men's regret. And if you win against Chael Sonnen, you made a bad bet.
I don't have much left to say other than you have seen nothing yet.
What's happening, Fight Week Show fans, Fight Week Show people? Them we are back with another episode of Don't Stop Shakedown, and helping me do that this week is my boy Yao, and from making the walk, the new guest in the house, Antwin. How you doing, Antwin? You good?
Yeah, man, I'm good. I appreciate y'all letting me jump into your mix, man. I appreciate it.
No. We really appreciate you as well for pulling up on the show. You know, you've been mixing it up with us in the live comments, and you've got your own platform as well, making the walk. People, make sure you're going over there. If you're a fan of the Fight Week Show, if you follow the Fight Week Show, make sure you're going to show some love to Making the Walk on YouTube and follow them on their socials as well. I'm sure it's on Instagram. You find him on there, and we're going to tag him and put him in the description below. And as you can see, the man from South Africa, Yao, is in the house. How you doing, bro?
Big ups, Ola. Big ups, Making the Walk. So today I brought an unannounced guest with me, the current middleweight champion, Monsieur Dricus Still Knocks Duplessis. Dricus, welcome to the Dust Up and Shakedown.
I'm not even gonna hate. And I know what you're trying to do, but the other guy, one of my fiercest competitor, likes to get under my skin. Likes to this brother here. He ain't William, but he might as well be.
Fucking yo!
Oh,
You starting this shit about me, son? You know what I mean? What's going on?
that boy snuck in here.
You know what? If there's a week that I could have done without you being on the show, is today, bro. But here we are.
You still hurting, brother? You still hurting,
bro? I've been licking my wounds all week, bro. Like this shit ain't easy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it ain't easy. Yeah, like easy ain't easy. Yeah, easy ain't even a conversation no more. It's Dricus' era. But look, Leroy's put some work together for us, and before we get on with that, I want to thank everybody that's in the chat, everybody that's watching live, whether you're watching on playback as well. Please make sure you're showing love. Make sure you're hitting the like button, share button, subscribing to all these gentlemen on the screen and their platform. And please make sure if you're watching on other platforms as well, jump on YouTube, come show some love on YouTube. That's where you're going to really help every single one of us that's on here. You know what I mean? YouTube is where we really want to rack it up. And yeah, come show some love on YouTube and jump on YouTube, subscribe to the people. Leroy's put some wonderful work for us to talk about this week. And but before I go to all the topics, I personally want to get a recap from each one of you. I'm going to come to you first, but Antwin, I want to come to you first. The recap of 305, which fights, other than the main event, because we'll talk about that as well, but which other fights on the card really piqued your interest and that you thought, you know what, I like this. This one got me going. Which other fights on the card?
I would have to say the fight that really stood out to me outside of the main event, and it's not necessarily because of both fighters, but it's more because of one particular guy. It's the Carlos Prates fight against Li Jingliang. Prates showed, I already knew he could strike. I knew what he could do, but Li Jingliang is a dude that has a ridiculously iron granite chin, doesn't get dropped like that, doesn't get hurt like that, even though he's got a big ass head. He still doesn't get dropped like that, and he was still able to put his lights out like sleep, like taking a nap. So like Prates is a problem for welterweight. Like he needs to be fighting somebody in the rankings. But that one, that really impressed me.
Yeah, man. What about you, Jordan? I mean, we saw a lot of the card together, but other than the obviously main event, which we'll get to, like which other fights really, maybe
Bro,
the one that got
that
you?
Gamrot and Hooker fight paid
Yes.
off. Like,
Oh
I
my
honestly thought,
god. Oh my god. Yes. Please talk.
I honestly
Talk about
thought Gamrot was going to take that quite easy. Well, not easily. I mean, Hooker always makes it a dogfight, but I thought Gamrot was probably just going to like chain wrestle, pressure him as much as he can. And I thought Hooker wasn't going to have much room to breathe. And man, what a fucking fight that turned out to be. You know what I mean? Like, and if we're not even going for main card, like below that one, I think the next one that everyone kind of underestimated for me was Ricardo Ramos against Josh Cordoba. Like a lot of people might think that Cordoba took it, they might have just nicked it, but Ramos isn't an easy dude to get through either. So that was another one on the card that I was quite happy with.
Yeah, man. For me, I mean, Yao, do you have a different one apart from the main events? Because of your boy, do you have enough? Do you have
The
one?
man is muted.
He does this every week.
It's too much excitement. He can't even talk about it.
You know, as you guys went through your fights, I was like, oh, wait, that's my one. Oh, wait, I want to do that one. But with that said, the other fight I want to talk about is then Junior Tafa versus Walter Walker, mostly because of the post-fight engagement they had regarding Walter Walker then calling out Junior Tafa's brother Justin, which is very interesting. So, yeah, there was quite a few interesting fights on this card.
Yeah, I mean, the card was fantastic. Well, you know, the one for me is definitely Kai France shot in the lights out on Erceg. Nobody really gave that a chance. Everybody was kind of pro Erceg going into the fight. And I was so glad for Kai France delivering in the way that he did in that fight. So yeah, plenty to look at on that fight. But look, let's talk about the main event from you guys' perspective, because I was a nervous wreck watching that fight. I was like, I know you guys could see that I was pretty much like this the entire time. But Magdane, let me come to you first. You saw this happen. You was the only one out of us all that made picks that picked Dricos, but I did not pick Dricos because I didn't want to pick Dricos. I had a situation, so I'm going to plead my case before you go into it and kill me with it. You know what I mean? My policy.
You had to back your countrymen, brother. I get it.
Yes,
I get it.
That's
like,
my policy.
Yeah, I mean,
Everybody that knows, man, that's been watching me from a long time, I never pick against my countryman. It's just not something that I do. I throw a lot of fighters under the bus when I need to pick, if it's going to earn me points. But in this one, I never really go against my countrymen. So that's my reasoning for picking, not because I don't want to pick Dricos or don't think Dricos could win the fight. I know what Dricos is capable of. I've spoken to him multiple times, and he's yeah. But please, you give us your thoughts on the fight and all the good things that you saw.
So it was that. So again, kind of what Gamrot did. What I thought Gamrot was going to do, is what I thought Dricus was going to do. I thought he was going to be very much like Sean Strickland. I thought he was going to push forward. I thought his pressure was going to be a bit too much. And if Izzy carried on trying to play the counter-striker game, that it was going to be a long night for him again, just like it was against Strickland. Izzy came out different, man. You got to give him his props. You know what I mean? He didn't sit back and just wait to be counter. He was pushing forward and he was trying to put the pressure onto Dricus. He even said himself after the fight too, he was like, there was moments where he had his momentum, but Dricus was really good at taking it away from him. And then he had to like reset and go, right, now I can come back at you. There was just moments in the fight where they were both excellent. You know what I mean? You've had some people say Dricus hasn't got any skills, hasn't got anything. He's just got that dog in him. When we were watching it live, I thought Dricus took the first one. It was the first one he went for the sub in the first round, did he? And I think so. He got the takedown, then he went for the sub in the first round. I think that nicked him that round because they were quite even. It was more of a feel out round in the first round. Second round, Dricus took it handedly. I thought that was his. Third round, he kind of took a round off. You know what I mean? I don't know whether that was gas and fatigue or whether it was just part of the game plan. Is let's just sit back and chill for a minute and move into the fourth and see where we go from there. Then to get the finish, like ain't nobody finishing Izzy like that. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody subbing him. Even Jan sat on his back for God knows how long and couldn't get the finish. But both fighters, man, you got to give it off to them. Like, the beef was settled, the respect was given, and I thought it was a great fight between the two. I would love to see it again. And like I say, it was good. It was good to see Izzy mix it up and not just come back in and just be the sit back and counter strike. I said to somebody, I can't remember who it was, the day, I think it was either on fight day or maybe the day before fight day. And it was, he isn't defending. He's going for a title this time. And the mindset you're going to have going for a belt rather than defending a belt is going to be completely different.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. And a lot of the things that you mentioned there absolutely wrong through. Antwin, let me come to you. I mean, you saw the fight, the preparation, and the beef, the race beef that that was actually loading up before fight day.
Yeah.
But we get to fight day, and these two, they get to it. What's your take on Izzy's approach? Because he said he didn't care about the belt. And sometimes if you're too in your mind about who you're going to fight and not worrying about what's at stake, it can take you off your game plan a little bit. But what's your take on the whole approach and how Izzy delivered his fight?
You know what? Like, I was proud of the way that Izzy handled himself, in the sense of not letting his emotions dictate how he was going to fight. The fact that he did go forward and wasn't on his heels the same way that he fought when he fought Sean Strickland, when he fought, even Paulo Costa, a fight that he won. He was still, if you look at the finishing sequence, he's back towards the cage and he starts to go forward, and that's when he starts to win. He took a different approach in this, and he knew that he had to upset Dricus's timing and not allow him to be comfortable. And the thing about Dricus du Plessis is, in my opinion, and y'all might get mad at me for this, but I don't really care, he's the most skilled person I've ever seen. Like, the dude, like, his ability to just be offbeat and be awkward is his superpower. That's what makes him good, because you really don't know what he's doing.
Sorry to cut you there. Does it remind you of Blueface? Does it remind you of Blueface? Offbeat rapping? Bro, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about. And for some reason, Blueface was successful for the time that he was. Pinpoint for the time that he was. But so the thing about Dricus, and Robert Whitaker said this in his interview on his podcast, is that because of that awkwardness, you can't catch a rhythm and can't catch a timing, and before you know it, he's doing whatever he wants to do to you. And that's exactly what happened in that fourth round. At the beginning of the fourth round, Izzy was starting to find his timing. He started to download what Dricus was doing, and you could see Dricus going backwards. But then Dricus remembered, oh, I can wrestle. And the very thing that Dan Hooker did against Gamrot by threatening offensive submissions to keep Gamrot from getting closer to his hips is exactly what Izzy wasn't doing. And that's how the finishing sequence happened. So Dricus continues to impress me in whatever awkward fashion that he has. But I think that things will get a little bit more difficult when he starts to face people who are more on the grappling side. But I can't front. I mean, he did what he did, and he won, won the fight. But I still was impressed with Izzy and the way that he handled himself.
Let me push back a little bit there on that last bit there when you said people on the grappling front. Would you not put Bobby Knuckles in that category?
I think that Robert Whitaker is a good wrestler, but there's two parts of it. You can wrestle, and that gets you to a certain point, but then you have to be able to finish. You can't just wrestle him to the ground, and then now we're in the area of jiu-jitsu. It's a two-part game. So I think that Robert's going to be able to use his wrestling offensively to threaten a little bit, but you got to be able to do something after that. And I think that that's where Dricus will be able to use his power, use his awkwardness and his explosion and all that stuff to get things back on his side and be offensive for him.
So in other words, what you're saying is you can't wait to see him and Hamza. Chimaev.
I mean, at least for a round and a half, it's gonna be nasty. But after that, I mean, DDP, he got cardio. I don't know where he picked it up, but do they sell they sell cardio in Africa, in South Africa? They sell cardio because he picked something up on sale or something.
Bro, that no surgery did him a world of good.
And when you grow up on a farm, you tend to be strong and you normally have good cardio because you have far to go to do anything.
Right, yo. The man that knows about all the people that grows up on the farm, bro.
knows all the man that sell cardio.
You know what I mean? Knows all the man that sell cardio. Knows the people that sell load shedding. Like load shedding is a crazy thing in South Africa. Y'all never has load shedding.
It's
not like
thing
that.
of the past.
Hey, it's weird, isn't it?
Load
It's
shedding.
weird. Like, how many South Africans have we had that have cut off because of load shedding? And
Y'all don't know the meaning of load shedding.
You know what I mean? Yao's in that mainstream, right? He's on that government electricity.
He's in like bloody Hollywood out there in South Africa, man. You know what I mean? You don't see that place, man. But Yao, please tell us what what's the mood in South Africa been like the whole week since Dricus pulled off this win. You guys believed in him. Everybody believed in him. The Springboks followed him out there. They did their job over there in Australia, and Dricus did the job for you guys. How's South Africa been? What's it like?
Look, South Africa has been such an interesting place, especially because the Olympics are happening at the same time, of which we got a few gold medals. So between the gold medals at the Olympics, then the Springboks beating the Aussies convincingly, then Dricus. So even before the fight, it was electric. Dricus was all over the news. As soon as you hear the Springboks, the next thing was Dricus is fighting Izzy. Every single news broadcast on the hour was talking about it. There's adverts everywhere. He's now partnered, like he sponsored up the Yin Yang, speaking of which, this is Dricus's energy drink endorsed by Dricus du Plessis. It's out now in the shop. So he's now got his own energy drink as well. So it's literally been Dricus everywhere. And then when he won, it's turned him into an absolute superstar. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. We are absolutely ecstatic. It's I can breathe now. But yeah,
just not to cut off. Sorry, but I've got South African guys that work at my place, and even that, like, they don't follow MMA. They don't follow anything, and even they were getting Dricus appear on their Facebook feeds and everything over the weekend.
He's everywhere. You can't go around. Everyone knows the name. Everyone knows the achievement. Everyone knows we have a multiple world champion, especially because he was there with the Springboks. And there's such a strong following for the Springboks. They're the back-to-back World Cup champions, the most successful rugby team in the world. So to have him being coupled with them backing him, them being in the cage with him, it's literally gone absolutely viral here in South Africa. The president is actually going to, I think the Minister of Sports,
Well, that's what Giddy just said there. The president didn't give us a day off, but I sure as hell gave my guys a day off.
Go on, Giddy. Salute to you, Giddy. I mean, when you look at the achievement of Dricus, is absolutely insane. You know what I mean? From EFC, KSW, coming to the UFC, staying undefeated, seeing a couple of bad boys along the way to the title, and every single time it just defies logic to a lot of people in the way that he fights. It defies logic. But the one thing they always say, I've gone back and listened to what Izzy was saying as well, and I'll talk about the fight in a minute. They all say how strong he is. When he grabs hold of you, that's when they all say, oh my God, I didn't know he was that strong. Like Izzy said, from when that Gable got locked in, there's no way he's breaking it. He weren't breaking it. He knew from the Gable lock, it was over. That's what he said. From when he got me around the waist and I couldn't break it, I knew it was pretty much done. So it was just formalities till basically Dricus took his back and choked him out. But for me, looking at the fight, I thought Izzy came with a decent enough strategy, and I thought he fought one of his better fights to date. Even the Pereira fight, it was kind of a little bit of moments in there. Pereira was kind of leading the dance. He was backing up into the cage, played the possum till he ended up, getting the knockout against Pereira. But like this was probably his best showing in terms of putting everything together, letting his shots go. The combo, obviously, he didn't do that against Strickland, and but that's in the striking department. Because when you see the striking numbers, it was I couldn't believe what I was saying, and I thought, oh my god, I can't believe he's that high up on striking numbers. But we know the control time and the grappling that Dricus was putting in might have been taking the edge. So I don't know what the scorecard actually would have been going to the fourth before Izzy got finished. But on the whole, Dricus mixed it up very well. He mixed up the striking with the grappling to get the control time. So whichever way it was going, he still looked good in the first 2 rounds. And like Jordan said there, it took a round off, but he came like a bat out of hell in the 4th. And thought, nah, we ain't having this. And like you said, it's almost like he remembered, oh yeah, I can literally take this man down at will. And
I want to say something there. What you're saying now is, and what you guys have described is exactly what I said before the fight. For me, the coaching is the key. Izzy did the same thing, and just in increasing success over the 3-4 rounds. Dricus came out different each and every round, which is why we can even say he took off in the 3rd. And that is the secret of why he's unbeatable, is because you don't know who's coming out the next round, because he's gone back to his team and they've said, okay, 1, 2, 3 did or did not work. Do this now. So the guy that just came out is now suddenly a bit different. Now you couldn't adjust fast enough, and that's exactly what happened to Izzy in the 4th. So that's the reason that Dricus is so difficult to beat. It's not just because he's awkward, and I don't call it the most skilled unskilled. I call it the dirtiest strike. Like it's just dirty, but it's so effective. There's nothing clean about what he does on his feet. You think he's going to fall over. Like half the time, he looks like he's going to topple over, but somehow he's connecting. Somehow he's getting to you. And it's like, but are you in a street brawl? But no, it's technical somehow. But yeah, I just wanted to say that it's for me, that's what the difference is, the team.
Yeah, coming off the back of what Yao just said. Sorry, let me just jump in here. And there's going to be a 2-parter, because when you were speaking, there was something I wanted to ask you as well. So I'll just quickly address Yao's. So did you guys see the clip of Izzy after the fight? And he was talking about in the 3rd when I think Izzy cracked it. No, was he go? He sprawled. Dricus went for a takedown. Izzy sprawled, and he was like, I bounced his head off the canvas. And when he was about to stand up, so when we were sitting watching it live, and this kind of feeds into what I was going to speak to you. Obviously, we all had our own horse in this race. We all had whoever we wanted to win. You wanted Izzy, I wanted Dricus. So in that moment, when I seen him sprawl and he hit the deck, I thought, oh shit, he just cracked his head on there. Which obviously, you're going to feel it. When he was getting back up, when I was watching it live, I was thinking, right, Dricus knows that Izzy's going to come in here, and he knows, and he stands up, it's going to be dangerous, and he's going to lunge, he's going to crack him, he's going to try and kick him in the head, he's going to try and do something. You know what I mean? So I thought, and from the angle that the camera was on the TV, you couldn't really see Dricus. It was more at the side, back of the head, that you could see him and you could see Izzy. And I thought he's just biding his time because he doesn't want to stand up and get cracked. But from what Izzy's perspective was, and it was cool because when he stood up, he fucking jumped forward and cracked Izzy. Like, you know what I mean? He had that timing where, to me, it was like he was biding his time thinking, you ain't getting me, son. I'm going to make sure I've got the time to stand up here. And then he lunged forward and landed a left. I think he landed on him. Yeah. But from Izzy's perspective, he was like, that man was gassed. I seen him sitting there taking a deep breath. And it was probably a bit of both. You know what I mean? It was probably a bit of best of both worlds, where that's how it felt to Izzy and that's how it looked like to him. That was his perspective. And Dricus was going, fight IQ, I ain't standing up right now, because if I stand up too quick, you're going to get me. And how can I do this? And that then fed into the point of Izzy saying his awkward style of, you think you're going to have the momentum, and he cracks you and makes you reset. And he said that was one of those moments where he was just like, right, okay. And he just had to reset himself and go forward again. So then what I wanted to come back to, like, and it was just interesting with you saying that, I kind of led onto it. But what you were talking about before, Ola, was about the strike counter. Again, own horse in the race. Whilst we were watching that fight live, Izzy had the highest strike count. But honestly, from watching it as we were, how were you feeling the rounds were going for Izzy? I didn't
I
like
didn't-
personally, and maybe because I was back in Izzy. Back in Drickus. I had
Same.
a bit of bias towards how that fight was going. You know what I mean? You know, I mean, you put your blinkers on. Sometimes you feel like it's going for the one that you're favoring a little bit more.
Yeah.
How did you feel in that, like throughout the fight? Because I felt like I didn't think the peppering or the volume was doing that much damage. Where I felt like there was times where Drickus would catch him, and I was thinking that's how Pereira had him, because he'd go up against the cage and just kind of, you know what I mean, get the lateral movement on the go and try and circle out a little bit. There was those times where I was thinking, damn, like he's not landing as much, but he's hella more effective. You know what I mean? So what was it from your point of view?
For me, and very, very interesting question you asked there, because in the moment while we was watching it, at the back of my mind, I'm thinking the people that are counting these strikes, I went looking at it like that, because I thought Dricus had more of a complete round performances in those rounds, even though the strike count for Izzy was high. I think the grappling, some of the damaging shots, and the takedowns, they all come into factor, and just shady for Dricus. And I did say on the live show, I gave Dricus the first 2 rounds. It was very, very close, the first one, but I thought maybe Dricus shaded it. Second round, definitely Dricus. Third, gave it to Izzy. And then the fourth, like I said, it was just the way Dricus came out, the way he shot out. I thought, whoa, okay, this brother means business. It's either it was feeling the pain from the third round, taking the third round off, and Izzy had a very, very good third round, and some openings there that didn't quite, go his way. But all in all, I always felt at the back of my mind that the actual look of the fight, Dricus was shading it, not by much, but the strike counter is telling you something different. But sometimes you could strike if your opponent has got a bit more control time in there, a bit more grappling in there, submission threats in there, and on top of that, put in a few strikes, it might just shade you out of the round. So I was kind of looking at the overall picture rather than just the strike count. But the strike count did kind of, I don't know what Antoine thinks, when that was going on.
I mean, I had a 2-1 going into the fourth, and I agree. I mean, it's the equivalent of Izzy was touching him, but Dricus was hitting him.
Right.
That's really what it comes down to. Izzy was finding pockets to be successful, but it wasn't really doing anything to take away from what Dricus wanted to do. And what I learned more about Dricus was that he has 2 things that go for him, and that's him being smart and him being aware. He's very smart, and to Yao's point of him being able to change between rounds, he's smart and he's aware of when he needs to do that, and he listens to his coaches. It seems very simple, but there's so many fighters in the UFC that don't do that, and they look back at the fights and they're like, I wish I would have done. But Dricus doesn't do that. He did what he thought he was going to do, and he listened to his coaches to do what he or what they wanted to accomplish, and it worked.
Yeah, I mean, look, Team C.I.T, they're crazy out there. You know what I mean? In South Africa, that gym, the full of champions. They're full of champions. Shout out to Coach Mon Visor, and congratulations to his brother. Just had a baby as well. You know what I mean? So we saw them posting. So a lot of things to celebrate over there, Team C.I.T. The people like Cameron Simon and his teammate Jaco du Plessis, they're all going to be celebrating, all going to be happy, and even more motivation for people like Diego Bandu that's also in that gym as well. And there's plethoras of fighters out there in that gym. They do fantastic work. But fellas, what's next for Dricus in terms of this Bobby Knuckles fight that's not pending with Chimaev? We know that fight's not going ahead, and they not promised Strickland that he was going to fight the winner of Izzy and Dricus. Like that's
Sorry,
not kind of up in the air.
ahead.
Bobby Knuckles and Hamza
Again?
Chimaev. Yeah,
It's not going ahead again.
no,
It's off
it's
again.
going ahead. No, it's going
Fox,
ahead.
what?
Yeah, it's happening.
No, I know it's happening. Sorry, I thought you said it was off.
No. I said it is going ahead. I said
Sorry.
that
It's
it's now going ahead.
sorry. Right, I thought you were saying
Yeah.
it was off again. I was
No,
just
no,
like,
no, no,
what?
no. So well, that's what I'm saying. That in light of that fight going ahead now, do we hold fire on Strickland, see what comes out on top, and then because the A side should get a choice now, you know what I mean? Dricos is just defended against Izzy, which is the fight that everybody wanted to see before Strickland came into the mix in the first place. It's almost like Strickland spoiled the party for everybody when he beat Izzy and took the belt, because everybody wanted to see Dricos and Izzy right at the height of that beef. You know what I mean? But the injury to Dricos, he had to sit out, bring Strickland in, and now Strickland is in the mix. But who does it? Who does Dricos fight? And if you had to choose, who would you be advising him to choose, Yao? Let me ask you first, Yao. Who would you be advising him to choose if you had to choose between those two guys now?
Look, I'll say Strickland, simply because with where he is in his career, what he's done, the only other fight he's got is Alex Pereira. So I say fight Strickland, prove that February was not a fluke, prove that split decision was not. It was just one of those things. It was a close fight. It was just one of those things. It was a close fight. But I am the best in the world, because that's what he says he wants to do, is to prove that he's the best in the world. So I would say fight Strickland, go for the second fight with him, and then after that you can call for whatever and whoever you want. But at that point, you've cleared out the division. Sure, you can fight Bobby or Chimaev, but you can literally just pass on both of them and just kind of wait until there's another contender, or until Chimaev fights someone else. So I think if he fights Strickland, the world is his oyster. He can do whatever he wants and call for whichever fight that he wants. Not yet anywhere close to the best conversation, obviously, but well on his way.
McDane, how do you see it? Because I know you like Chimaev, you know what I mean, and he's got some really, really strong attributes as a fighter, as an athlete, especially when he's in there. When he's in there, different kettle of fish. Would if he was in Dricos's camp, who would you be looking to for Dricos to face, in your opinion?
Depends how long he wants to wait, doesn't it? You know what I mean? It depends if he wants to stay active or if he wants to just take some time off for a little bit and see where it goes and see how a couple of these fights play out. But I don't know. It's a tough one. It depends. I think Bobby Knuckles is going to smash Chimaev. So it's. I think he'll survive that first round. And hey, we've already discussed this before, so don't act like no fool, son. Like, we've already been through this. You know what I mean? Don't sit there and start tripping, like. You know what I mean? We've done this. We've done this. Right? You asked me if I wanted to put money on it, and I said no because I'm with Bobby Knuckles all day. Like, but if Bobby Knuckles wins, I don't even think it should be him. I think it should still be Strickland, if I'm honest. He beat Whitaker. You know what I mean? He beat him. Like, and it wasn't even close. And that Strickland fight, you could argue Strickland won it. So that's the one that makes sense to me personally.
So to that point,
or he waits to see how other fights in the division play out. Cannonier and Baralho. You know what I mean? However you say his name, Baralho. The fighting nerd might be able to come up and give him a bit of a challenge. That'd be an interesting one to see too.
Izzy's talked about coming up there to see Dricos for a minute still. I mean, not Izzy, Usman. But that's a whole different talk.
You always got to bring him into it, don't you, bro?
I didn't, bro. He said it, but I want to come to Antoine first. Oh, then leave me the hell alone, bro.
You've already seen one countryman smashed by DDP. You want to see another countryman get fucked?
I'm just saying what he said. But
you might as well get Sadiq Youssef and Kamaru Usman to fight Dricos. Put them together.
Yeah. And it might still not be enough at this point. But Antoine, let's talk about this whole Strickland situation now, because we know that Dana's promised Dricos, your next defense will be in South Africa, bro. Right? You win, your next defense is in South Africa. And these brothers out here, they want Dricos. I mean, they want Strickland to go to South Africa now with the kind of person Strickland is. How do you see that whole build up? The things that go come out of Strickland's mouth, and he's already talking about apartheid and Wharton and all
Yeah,
this
you
other
saw the
crazy
comments,
shit.
mate.
Like
Yeah.
this guy is crazy, bro. But talk to me,
Yeah,
Anthony.
he is. I mean, it's gonna be a bunch of bullshit. Y'all already know. I mean, he's but Strickland that's the fight, man. That's the fight. I think that Robert Whitaker and Chimaev, like, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, but let's say Chimaev wins. Who knows when that fight's gonna be or where that fight can be? That's a problem. If Bobby Knuckles wins, then that's just a rematch that we saw a conclusive finish to. So do we want to see that again? Strickland and DDP. It's funny that we even brought this up. Me and my wife, actually, she's in the chat. We did a
salute to your wife. Big up.
Yeah, we did an episode on rewatchable on that, because going into rewatching it, we were like, man, I think Sean won that fight. We watched it and was like, no, that was actually clearly a DDP win. So I think that would be something that he can put a stamp on, like they said in the chat. And it's a big money fight. It's probably the biggest money fight that he can have in the division. I am against him fighting Alex Pereira. I think that Alex has work to do where he is, and DDP has work to do where he is. But I think that the fight to make is Sean Strickland, and then let the division shake out where it is. And like you mentioned, Jared Cannonier is fighting Barajo this week, and who knows, Barajo may be a fresh challenger if he gets things done against Cannonier. But I think Dricus deserves some time off after fighting Strickland, and then just let the division shake out. There's some other stuff going on. I mean, we got Marvin Vettori, Brendan Allen. They're fighting, at the casino. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that's happening in the division. Just let the division shake out. A new challenger will come up, but don't leave the division. Don't even keep doing that stuff. Like, I'm tired of seeing it, because it's making the champ thing watered down. So just stay where you are, build up a championship reign, and then worry about going to other divisions.
100%.
Just on that, in terms of his journey, and I think this is kind of where I was. I'm 100% with you. So Dricus is number 4 in terms of the all-time middleweight win streaks with 8. He is 8th. Obviously, number 1 is 13 with Anderson Silva at the top. In terms of title fight wins, as much as it doesn't seem very spectacular, with only 2, he is at number 5 in terms of the most title fight wins. So he is well on his way. And at the age of 30, it means that he can fight whoever's at the top of another division and become the champ and a proper champ within the next 3 years, if possible. And when we say proper champ, clear out your division. Have no one else to challenge you before you go up. I agree with you 100%, because, champs win these days and they're always like, oh, I want to go. I'm going to fight Leon. I mean, it's really stupid. So I agree with you 100%. But for me, he literally is that close. 3 years.
That was Islam. That was Islam. That was Islam, right?
No, let's not talk about Islam yet, man, because Antoine, I'm gonna leave that for another day, because we got a whole conversation about that. I saw your ratings video and your overratings and the overrated, the underrated. Yeah, we saw that. I saw that video, and we gotta have a conversation about that sometime.
we talk about champ, but then you've got Pereira that wants to be champ. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm waiting on the day that they chuck that man into flyweight and put 2 dudes in there with him and just see what happens.
I'll tell you something now that Dricus is doing. There's something now that Dricus has done so far since he's won the title that none of these other champions have done, and I rate him for that. Not calling out Conor McGregor, because, bro,
hey, that's a shout. That, by the way, that is a shout. That,
I'm telling you, all these fighters, flyweight champion, featherweight champion, like Ilia Topuria wins the title, calling out, like, bro, why don't you worry about looking after your division? Look after that division, man. Beat everybody in there. Make sure you build a legacy, and then you can then call out who you want. But on winning the title already, you're calling out. This is what all these guys do. Put Conor's name in their mouth. But Dricus ain't done that not once, and I respect him for that. Even if it was just for the clout, because you know, if he did it, Conor will latch onto that straight away. He would, but he hasn't even given it any fucking any air, and I respect him for that, man. You know what I mean? That's one thing he's done that's even separated from all these other champions. And I'm sure if the women's champion as well, if they had a chance, they'll probably call out Conor. That's how crazy it is that all these people want to get on the mic and just call out Conor for no reason. You know, it winds me up. It absolutely winds me up. But
how wild are those images that have come out of that World Diddy that was trying to dance in him, actually ended up on his hip. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, no way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's wild, man. It's wild. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, let's get on to the other topic here, because Dana has been losing his mind since the press conferences from the Contender Series people. If you haven't been watching, it happens on Tuesday out there in Vegas. Go and check it out. There's a lot of talent that we know that's passed through our platform, and they've gone to Contender Series and and done beats over there. So go and check it out, people. But Lira has put a clip together for us. Let's hit it.
During the post-fight press conference for Dana White's Contender Series, White labelled Merab Dvalishvili as next level stupid after the machine posted a video of himself to social media receiving stitches to a gash over his eye ahead of his title fight against sharpshooter Sean O'Malley.
About Merab's cut, he posted it. Our guys are so dumb, it's next level unbelievable. It's all the stuff that I talk about boxing, what I will give boxing is when something happens in a camp, man, let me tell you what, it does not leak. Our guys can't wait to throw it up on social media. It's a small cut, it's no big deal, but obviously needed to be posted.
Against a guy like O'Malley, who's a sharpshooter and who's a very accurate puncher, now all of a sudden there's a big target for him.
And why the would you want him to know that? It is next level stupid. Some of these guys are so stupid, it's mind-boggling. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, Jeff, as they say over here in football. But let me come to you first, Yao. Dana's pissed off. And you could see, you know what? I've seen him cuss other fighters as well, leading up to a pay-per-view. And you go hard sparring without wearing a headgear and get busted up, but then posting it. Is it within his rights to be losing his head like this, or like is he making a meal out of it?
Look, we know that Dana is not the biggest fan of Merab because Merab is part of Aljo's team, and Merab did not want to fight Aljo for the title. So he's already not a big fan of Merab. And then Merab goes and does something that is generally silly, but I mean, this is the machine. We're talking about the machine here. Merab Dvalishvili, I've seen him jump into a pool, swim back and forth, and spend about 2.5 minutes underwater. This dude is insane. So Dana's pissed off, but when Dana doesn't like a fighter, it doesn't take much to push him over the edge. He didn't say much when Paulo Costa did it. He didn't say much when Charles Oliveira did it. So I mean, it's clearly targeted. And I'm not sure which fighter put it out today, but there was a fighter who put out that fighter privilege in the UFC is a real thing in terms of, let's call it nepotism. If a fighter is liked, they get whatever they want. If they're not, they don't. And this might just be another view of that because, like I said, I mean, John Jones, okay, fine, that was a full-on injury, but fighters post these things. It is what it is. But for him to go off like that, okay, Dana, now we know you really don't like Merab. And when he wins the title, I'm not saying that he's going to beat Sean, but when he wins the title, Dana's just going to be back there looking unhappy or pulling Ngannou where he doesn't put the belt. Was it Ngannou? Yeah.
Antoine, like Yao just said, Dana don't like Merab for a certain reason that we all know of. At one point, even I was hating on Merab. Like, come on, bro. Just fight Aljo, man. You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with you? But please talk to me. What do you make of Dana's outburst in that press conference?
I mean, you know what? Like, Yao's right. Like, Dana does kind of have it out for Merab a little bit, but that was stupid. Like, why would you do that? That's dumb. That's just plain dumb. Like, why would you put out into the media to a sharpshooter, hey, I'm hurt right here? You know what I'm saying? Like, just, and I think that maybe he's looking at it from, you know, in addition to him not really Merab not being his favorite, but in addition to that can sway the fight odds, that can sway people actually wanting to watch the fight, because the people who are on Sean's side may lean a little bit more now because they know, okay, Merab is coming in hurt, he's stupid, like, you know, Sean's going to win it. I think I'll just watch the highlights. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, it's dumb. I mean, and Dana's, if you give Dana a microphone in front of his face, Kevin Aioli asking him a question, he's gonna let some shit fly. So it's dumb on Merab's part, but it's just Dana being Dana.
Yeah, Jordan, we've seen Merab and the type of fighter he is he one of those guys that don't even care about that injury there and think I'm still gonna come and take you down, and I'm gonna do what I need to do regardless of what cut I got, whether I posted it or not. What do you think? You know, Merab's
he's already
reasoning
excuse me, he's already posted multiple videos already going, this is my third time training wrestling today, this is a fucking fourth time I'm doing this, or what, you know what I mean? Like, he's already like backtracking a little bit, going, it's just a small cut, I'm not bothered, just a small cut, I'm not bothered. But I do agree with Dana, like, why and what Anthony said there, like, why would you put it out there? Like, why would you even go, yo, here's a big target, split this sucker open and see what you can do? You know what I mean? Like, because even though he's saying it's a small cut, when you seen the video and the nurse, doctor, whatever it was, peeled that thing open, have a deep, son. Like, they ain't putting stitches in for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, you can peel that open, but like, damn, if that gets cracked, it's gonna just pop. It's gonna be like Nate Diaz.
Maybe it's
you know
mind games.
Gushing.
I'll tell you, we'll be happy about that.
They're gonna be able to see his mind. Is what's gonna happen.
I thought Cutman Tate is gonna have a field day with him if he's on duty that day. You know?
Tate already
he's gonna have a field day with him.
Tate's already got the Vaseline on his fingers. He's ready to go.
He's ready to load it up, man. You know what I mean? But look, Merab for me is just one of those guys. He's mental. That guy's crazy, and I don't know why on earth it would show. I mean, look at Francis Ngannou when he got injured and he had to come in and fight Cyril Gane. He had to hide which knee. They kept that out of they kept it out. Somebody, I think they said, I'm sure I heard Nixick said somebody from the Performance Institute kind of leaked it to the opposition or something along those lines, and then he went down and checked the odds, and then he saw the odds changed, and that's what confirmed that Ngannou's injury had been leaked, right? They did everything they can to keep it on the wraps, right? But if it's not through no fault of your own and that gets leaked, then fair enough. But if you're the one that's leaking your shit, showing the doctors which knee is fucked, showing the, you know what I mean, and posting on your social media, you know, that's crazy to me, you know what I mean? And even Ngannou had to come in with 2 knee braces just to confuse Cyril Gane. Like, yeah, you try and figure out which knee is fucked, you know what I mean? In mini money mode, that shit. I see where it gets you, you know?
Mini money mode. Takedown, son, was expected.
Yeah, man, Francis Nomagomedov, bro. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? No, it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know why Merab would do that, but your UFC Noche is coming up, and Dana's probably pissed because of how much money is already charged people, $3,000. You know what I mean, to go and watch that fight. And,
we
and all of a sudden,
3 weeks away from that now.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, the main event looks like it's about to get touched. So Dana's incensed that this brother is messing around, posting that shit on social media, man. It's crazy. But we've got another clip from Leroy, and I just wanted to get your take on this other clip, and then there's one more topic that I need to talk to you about once that clip is we've spoken about that clip. Let's hit that clip. Let's go.
During a recent upload on Adesanya's YouTube channel, Izzy opened up about the exchange he had with Plessis after their bout.
Oh, he just gave me a lot of props, a lot of love, a lot of respect, and you know, I accepted it, and I shook his hand. And then after his interview, after when we were living in the cage, we just talked and said, sorry, maybe. I can't remember, but what did he say? He said, just gave me a lot of props. And he said, hey, you know, I'm a big fan. I'm like, of course. I was like, I know, like, and I said, look how far we've come from way back then. Who would have thought? Now we're here. And we're like, yeah. And then we hugged. And I said, look, I respect you. I appreciate you. And I said, like, if I see you again, I'll see you again. I'm going to try and He's like, I'm going to try and you too. Oh, yeah, that was nice. I didn't even think of it. I was like, hey, I thought that was sweet. That was nice in the moment. I don't know. I didn't even think about it. I was like, hey. And just smiled, and we just hugged.
Du Plessis also shared a heartfelt moment with Adesanya and with Izzy's parents.
I have another one. I know you're on the longest. I just told you so.
I'll get you one. This one's from the market.
Yeah,
I'll put one for you. Thank you.
I know you see the one that comes out of the lands and 5 words from the lands. That's a reminder.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, man. Enjoy. Have a good one. Enjoy celebrations. Let's go, boys.
Respect. African champion. Of course, man. Yeah, inspiring. Appreciate you doing it. Because.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I said to you,
I knew both of you.
never ever. Very good signs. You're absolutely warrior. And thank you for raising a warrior. Thank you so much. Thank you. And enjoy the off time.
Right, people. This is one of the moments that we don't often see so much in the sport. But when we see things like this, it kind of shows why we're all like MMA fans. You know what I mean? Because it don't matter how crazy the build up is. At the end, when you see respect like that, it's always beautiful to see. Antwin, let me come to you first. I mean, just seeing that moment with Izzy's parents and Dricos, with all the crazy shit that gone on, how beautiful is that to see?
Yeah, no, I definitely love to see that. I mean, I like when things escalate to a point, but I like when it's able to be settled in the cage, and then afterwards it's a done deal, and everybody goes back and has respect. Because you know, when you're in there, even not even just in the cage, if you fight somebody on the street, and you're in there and you're mixing it up with them, you're gonna leave with a little bit of respect for them, for even just getting in there with you. And this is at the highest level with all these things on the line. They are going to leave with respect for each other. And so for Dricus to, obviously what he said bothered Izzy, and he said what he said in the cage, and then afterwards he was a man and went to his parents and said something to them as well. So like, I mean, I love that level of respect after the fight. So yeah, it's nothing but good stuff after that.
Magdalene, what do you take from all of that, especially both of their interaction before Izzy's mom called Dricos, that interaction with Izzy and Dricos?
Man, it was great to see, like you said there. I mean, absolutely love to see it, and it's what martial arts is all about. It's all about love, respect, and honor at the end of the day. I mean, we get caught up sometimes in all this smack talk. We get caught up in the press conferences. We get caught up in the build-up of fights. And we even said before this fight even started, all the race baiting and everything that they'd done to try and hype the fight up wasn't necessary. Like, we didn't need that for this fight. You know what I mean? It was ridiculous. Like, they used a card and they played it, which wasn't needed at all. I know Dricus may have said some things, as he may have got in the cage after a few too many and started talking about like the 23 and me or whatever it was. Yeah, I mean, like all of that stuff. Like, and again, it's the fight game, it's the business, it's how to build these things up. Yeah, I mean, there was a few bombs dropped here and there, but none of it was needed at the end of the day. And once the fight was all said and done, it was all love. And yeah, I mean, like, to see that with the parents too, because obviously Izzy, like, everyone made fun of it. He got upset. He had a few tears during the press conference as well. But to see Dricus go up to his parents and say what meant no disrespect at all, things were said that were said. You know what I mean? And thank you for raising a warrior. Like, what more do you want at the end of the day?
Yeah, Yao. You're on mute.
You're always on mute, you brother. What you doing when you're not talking on the mic? Like, what's going on that's so loud in that room? Yeah, I
mean. So, Drickus reminds me of McDaniel killing me here. So Drickus reminds me of the head prefect at high school, the kid that everyone loves and can get away with any shit that he wants to. He's lovable.
The privileged white guy.
But
is that what you're saying?
it's not always that. No. Not here, not anymore. But ironically, he is, to be honest with you. I mean, to have his own energy drink in this country already. I mean, to be honest, that is the height of privilege.
That's some privilege.
But with that said, so for me, I'm not surprised that he was 100% respectful after the fight, that sort of engagement happened. You could hear from the beginning, he said, listen, I didn't disrespect anyone. All I did was tell the truth. And that's what his rhetoric has been from the beginning. And then he just kind of poked and prodded Izzy along the way. Just poked and prodded Izzy. And then Izzy would react with like a Hitler video or something ridiculous. So, Izzy was trying to go there and Drickus was just poking him. Lots of fun. So that interaction was beautiful. I'm glad that Izzy hadn't taken anything personally, that he also knew that it was just fight business and that he was commensurate enough to actually have that engagement, receive the gift, and wishes his now former opponent well and stand there as two true African champions. So it was beautiful to see.
Yeah, man, 100%. To me, Africa won, and that's what I take out of all of that. Just seeing all that interaction, everybody African in there supporting, and it's a nice thing to see. It's something that I've always wanted for the continent, and I'm just happy that Drickus is now being passed the torch, and he can now go on hopefully to dominate the division and put in a legacy of his own, a run of his own. We're looking forward to seeing it. But
whilst we're there on that, one sec, just before you jump on. So whilst we're there on that, obviously, Africa won. We're going to be going to South Africa, and he's going to be getting his next title shot there. Well, his next title defense there. Right, Yao, you're the man on the ground on this one. It ain't easy setting things up in Africa, son. I don't know what it's going to be like setting things up in South Africa. You know what I mean? The logistics of it, let's not say there's no corruption. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that will go off in the background, which will make this thing. I don't know how the PFL just got things set up so easily from the looks of it. You know what I mean? From this side of the fence anyway. But how smooth do you think that they can set up that show and get it done?
In terms of setup, fairly quick and easy. I mean, we've done Commonwealth Games, we've done World Cup. Now, I know those are different types of tournament setups, but in terms of facilities, I wouldn't say come a dime a dozen, but we do have world-class facilities. The catch is the exchange rate. That would then sort of determine, but that would help because if you are coming from somewhere like Dubai, the States, or whatever the case is, it is a cheaper destination to go and watch the UFC than anywhere else because we have the exchange rate that benefits people from the outside to come in and watch. So if we still push it as a very international event, it would work. Where a lot of people are saying Pretoria, Times Square, it's the right sort of size. Think it holds maybe about 20,000. We're not looking for a super insanely sized crowd. So not anything like Loftus Versfeld where they play the rugby, which can hold up to like 50,000. I don't think we're going to get anywhere close. So, anything in Pretoria, Times Square, 15 to 20,000 seater, definitely will book it out. It would work logistically. Like there shouldn't be any issues at all. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it would be an amazing show. Heck, they could also go to Sun City and try and recreate the Rumble in the Jungle, throwback to Ali versus Foreman, the great African fight, something like that, the first time here. So Sun City is another option. Sun City is an extremely high-end option. It's a world-renowned option. They have the international golf challenges. They used to have a lot of high-level boxing back in the day as well. So it's already known as a fight destination. So maybe Sun City. So we do have quite a few options in and around South Africa with regards to where they could host it. And in terms of the income, like I said, lot of international people will still fly in because South Africa is a cheaper destination for something like the UFC.
100%. I mean, for me, I think it's more the locals that I'm thinking about in terms of, like, I've been able to afford tickets and be able to go and watch live, but there are people out there with deep there are people out there with deep pockets, and they'll pay for those tickets. But for me, I think it's more going to benefit the fighters that are already on the roster on the EFC, and we know quite a few of them, and I think it's a really, really good opportunity and it's something that they've all been talking about. We've spoken to Adrian Sanchez so many times, people like Blammy, the Black Panther, Gift Walker. They've all said, the UFC coming to South Africa is something that now gives them a platform to perform in front of Dana, because a lot of these guys want to fight in the UFC and follow in the footsteps of Dricus, right? They all want to fight in the UFC.
The one important name. You left out one name, the one important name. Iga Smiley Cabeza will finally be put in front of a UFC crowd.
100%. Iga Smiley Cabeza, for real. These guys will finally be able to perform in front of Dana White. So I think it's a big thing and a big opportunity for those guys to grab and maybe off the back of it, some of them might get a contract into going to the UFC. Only time will tell. We'll
and
see.
you know what?
Please.
What's interesting about the EFC, like in relation to the States, like when we first started our channel, we were looking at other organizations to look at and cover and things like that. And the EFC came on the radar because of Dricus. And I was looking for fights, and I was like, man, it is hard to watch fights in the States. Like, it's super hard for us to catch them. And so, like, that's a major obstacle that could be cleared if they are able to establish a fight down there. So I would really be looking forward to it.
Yeah, man, 100%, man. You're right about that one. The news came out today. Well, I clocked it today, and it's the last topic we're going to talk about before we get out of here. Just wanted you guys to chime in real quick. John Jones, your boy, Jordan, has said he don't intend to fight nobody when he don't fight his Stipe. What you think when you're hearing this, and what does that mean for Aspinall? Because in my apology, everybody saw my apology is still out there on my page. Go see it. I see him as the undisputed champion, anyways, right? But now that John Jones is now come back,
don't make me pull your apology. Are you about Tom? You see him as the undisputed champion.
No, yeah, I said Jones should have vacated.
I thought you
didn't I say
Jones?
Jones should have vacated. Jones should have vacated. Hold on, let me land. Jones should have vacated. Him fight for. He shouldn't be defending the interim, anyways. You know what I mean? But them two should have done for the undisputed title, and whoever one Jones can come back and see them when he's back from his injury. That was my point. So, which is why I said, because he won the fight, he should then be the undisputed champion, and that's how I view it, right? But Jones now coming out saying, he's not looking to fight anybody else apart from Stipe when when it's all said and done, when after this fight. Well, man, how you feeling about that? What does that mean for Thomas Pinot now?
I'm sick of this question. I'm sick of these roundabouts. I'm sick of absolutely everything to do with this matchup, son. You know what I mean? It just keeps going round and round in circles.
John Jones is your brethren, bro. You know what I mean? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I've got one half of the man's gloves in the cupboard, and it's going to remain in the cupboard. That shit ain't even going on display. It can sit in there signed and get dusty. Mate, like, yeah. But just need to wait and see at this point. He's going to keep saying what he's saying because it's getting the stir on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, I think he's just playing that troll. I've said this before as well. Like, I think he's literally just going, people don't like it when I'm saying this. I'm just going to keep on saying it, and I'm just going to keep winding people up. And he even said, I think the other day, maybe yesterday, that if they make him a big enough offer, who knows? So I think he's just playing two sides. And at this point, I'm like, right, cool. We all want to see him fight Tom. Whether he does or he doesn't, It's in his hands at this point. Like, we're going to see this Stipe fight. That's going to be happening, whether we want to see it or not. And now we just need to wait and see whatever he decides to do. Whether he's going to ride off on his bike up the mountain and into the sunset, or if he's actually going to come back and unify the belt. You know what I mean? But again, yes, light heavyweight, incredible career. What he done throughout his career, he can't knock it. Like, man was the GOAT, as Dana likes to say. He goes absolutely nuts for him. You know what I mean? Like the glazing from Dana. Dana even said recently himself, yes, I'm going to glaze all day, and I know you guys hate it too. Like, but he's still going to be doing it. Like, he just does. The man doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like, so you look at his heavyweight record, and you go, Gan, Stipe, 42-year-old Stipe, 43-year-old Stipe, whatever he is. Yeah, I mean, looked like he was walking with a limp the last time we seen him at a show. So, light heavyweight career, full respect. Heavyweight career, if he walks away after Stipe, can you really give him that much due for beating the two guys that he did? The man with no grappling that he took down and made it look easy against, and then an old retired firefighter.
Yeah, crazy. Antoine, I want to get your take on the whole John Jones thing, as a whole, and the way that I keep saying it. Jones has had one fight, 2 minutes in 4 years.
Yeah.
It's 3 years out to get to heavyweight. The fight took 2 minutes, and we ain't seen him for another year. So that's 4 years. We only saw him for 2 minutes. So, what's your take on this whole Jones, Stipe, Aspinall triangle? And I've asked the boys before, should Aspinall start getting disrespectful to Jones just to get him out of pocket a little bit, get him out of character, and see if he can really prize him away from that Stipe fight and make the Aspinall John Jones fight?
Well, Tom's not going to do that. That's not even his character.
But he already is. He already is, though.
I love that video.
I still, if I'm John, I'm like, that's cute. That's cute. I mean, when it comes down to it, like, John Jones right now is a ceremonial heavyweight champion. That's what it is. It's a ceremonial champion. Aspinall is the best heavyweight in the world, period. However, when I think about this John Jones situation, it reminds me of the George St. Pierre situation. George St. Pierre took 4 years off, came back, fought a person who he was the champion, but what did y'all really think of Michael Bisping during that time? He really only had one eye. We knew what was good. And so he fought him, beat him, choked him out, done deal. Robert Whittaker was right there to fight him. But he was like, nah, I don't think I really want that. I'm done. And that's the difference between John Jones and GSP. John Jones said, nah, I'll milk this for a little bit. Is there an easy fight that I can take? Yeah, sure. You can fight old man Stipe. Okay, I'll do that. But that's really the only difference. John Jones is just a troll. He's going to troll and milk it as far as he can, make people upset because he loves to do it and he loves to get those reactions, and everybody's giving it to him. He's going to fight Stipe and he's not going to fight Tom. He's just not. He's not going to fight him, because if he fights Tom, let's say he fights Tom and he beats him. Let's just say he beats him. Then what? Alex Pereira. So now you got to fight Tom and you got to fight Alex. then you beat Alex. Then what? Somebody else is going to come. It's not going to ever end. So I think if I'm John, I would have dropped the belt already. But John might as well just fight Stipe and leave. That's what we all want to happen anyway. And we really don't even want the Stipe part of it. Just leave. you are one of, if not the greatest fighter to walk the planet. And at this point, for me, nothing's going to change that. Nothing at this age of being 37 is going to change that. So if you just want a cash grab, go ahead, grab your cash in November at MSG and go ahead and get out of here so we can get back to business.
I mean, you mentioned a really good point that I didn't really thought about. I mean, the amount of wicked fighter that Jones has swerved, because Francis Ngannou was right there, and he made that fight, and he made that fight long. He didn't want no part of Francis Ngannou at the time that we were talking about, and You know, it was already there. It was already, building for heavyweight. Ngannou waited for it.
As soon as Ngannou left, John was like, "I'm ready." He's gone.
Okay. All of a sudden he's alive. He's ready now. Tom is here. He's injured, but he's gonna be fit enough to fight Stipe. Like, bro, if you're fit and you're the best heavyweight in the world, fight the man that's got the interim title. That's the only fight that matters. You should be unifying the belt as a champion, anyways. You should be saying, "Listen, I want to unify that belt. There can't be two kings in this division. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I go out there, put this guy back in his box, take that interim away from him, and then we'll know who the undisputed king is." But he's not doing that, and that's what drives me nuts. And I know that John Jones has a lawyer in Yao. Yao, please. You was gonna say.
Will the defense attorney please step forward?
No, there's no defense. I think everything Anton said is 100%. If John had gone up, won the title, and said, "Listen, I'm going now. I've proved I'm the best all round. There's no question," without having wasted time, no one would have said a word. We all would have been like, "Yes, this is the greatest fighter ever. There's no question." But the fact that but of course, back then, he was 35 or so. The fact that he's waited this long is what's now making us all ask the question and making us all forget the greatness that is John Jones, the undefeated one who will walk out of any room with no one else walking out. He's the only one who will walk out of the room if he goes with anyone else. So I'm doing my best here because honestly, I agree. He just needs to drop the belt or fight Tom. But that's not going to happen. I love the content Tom's putting out. It's starting to, be very, very direct. Let's go find the room, let's find out if he will be the only one walking out of that room. So I think Tom needs to keep on going.
I think that was quite British humor. I think Americans have been looking at that content going, "What the fuck is this guy doing?" Like,
hey, I get it. I talk to enough British people. I understand.
I understand you guys are saying that funny, but I understand.
So wait, Tom now has one win, and if he beats whoever, he's won the interim and then he's defended the interim. Does that count as as a win in a title defense, or does he have to unify before it counts?
It should be a title defense because the guy he fought ain't no schmuck, and we know that. Blades ain't no dickhead.
But in terms of the record,
it should be a title defense to my eyes. That's title defense, legit, and that's why I said
because no one's ever defended an interim. So, but no one ever defends an interim. So, does an interim defense count as a title defense? That I actually haven't asked the question before.
It should
be.
It does.
It should be.
Yeah. And somebody has before. I want to say Henan Barrow defended in interim belt back for in bantamweight, but he'll probably he'll get his little rubies in his belt. They might be cubic zirconium. Well. They'll be there. He'll get some.
Think he gets pay-per-view points as well?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's got to be a deal in there with that already.
Yeah. So to me, that should be a title defense. That should be a title fight, like undisputed title fight. That belt should have been vacated. And
I still wish that was the main event of that 304 card. I really do. Like, seeing because you knew it was going to happen. Like, I knew it was going to happen soon. Like, so for him to go in there and get the finish, and then to see the 5-round fight we seen of Leon and Bilal was just. It was flat, I mean, the atmosphere and the
Then I was so pissed off with that card, man. Then I was so pissed off with that card. It was unbelievable.
He need to be pissed off at himself for making that card in the middle of the night and disrespecting them fighters and them fans like that. That's his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know what? You're right about that, but they tried to bring that actual point up, and he shut it down. It's like, so what? Basically, that was Dana's answer. You know what I mean? So what? Who cares?
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares? I think that's exactly what he said. So then that would be Dana. People, thank you so much for hanging with us. Salute to Antwin for pulling up, making a walk. Salute to you. Thank you so much. Jordan. Yeah, man. Big up yourself, man. Big week we just had. I'm looking forward to the Noche card now because there's some really good fights that I'm looking forward to on there. Yao, South Africa's buzzing.
Kick him in the head.
South Africa's buzzing. You know what I mean? You lot probably gonna get a Dricos named holiday very, very soon. And
probably.
This man's looking for a sponsor.
Are you getting paid for this?
Yeah, sitting there like
this is me fishing for a sponsor.
Yeah. Toucan Danny's been sitting there like all night. You know what I mean? Like, yo,
yeah, man, get
I
your
got the
money,
green
bro.
and the pink, son.
Get the bag.
This
you know
one
what I mean?
tastes good. That one tastes like.
Like ass, like
see,
straight
you
up
just
ass
lost the
shit.
sponsorship.
You just killed your sponsorship right there. Yeah, unbelievable, yeah. Let me get you out of here before you kill anything else. People, up onto the next video. Hasta la vista. Salute, love,
peace.
The Fight Week Show.
Hey guys, this is John Anik from the UFC. You're watching the Fight Week Show. Please subscribe, not now, but right now.